Boldy is kind of showing me that he can do everything. And that's kind of what I've seen from the Wild as a whole.
Okay, let's begin with the Minnesota Wild, who are the best story of the playoffs. They lost a close game 1 against the Golden Knights in Vegas, and then really, I think we can say, have taken it to the Golden Knights in the last 2 games. 5-2 victories back-to-back. Kirill Kaprizov has 7 points in 3 games. Matt Boldy has 4 goals, 6 points in 3 games. And I have a realization on this series because this was one that we thought was going to be a relatively quick one. I think I had Vegas in 5, but who cares how many games you have whom in? I just thought this was going to be an easy series for the Golden Knights. You thought this was going to be an easy series for the Golden Knights. We all did. And the only real comment I had on this series was, why are we all sleeping on the Vegas Golden Knights? Why aren't we talking about the Golden Knights enough? We talk about, Dallas got Rantanen. We talk about Colorado loaded up. And the Golden Knights are the most slept on cup favorite in this entire thing. They're just lurking. All the while, sleeping on the wrong team. Mm-hmm. The most slept on team in this series is the Minnesota Wild, one that was looking like they could get the President's Trophy at some point, looking like they could have the Hart winner for like 5 minutes, and got a little banged up, had some growing pains, and now here they are. They're up 2-1 in a series in which they are not their opponent was not the slept on team they were.
Yeah, but
you made a face during that as though any of that wasn't true.
No.
Okay, I thought no. You were like, no, like people weren't sleeping on Vegas.
No, my thing was there's more reason to sleep on Minnesota. Like Minnesota, yeah, sure, they were the best team in the league at points in December, but they haven't been healthy in like 4 months. Their doctor is the guy from The Simpsons, the fraud doctor.
Yeah.
What's it, Dr. Nick?
Yeah.
Yeah, like that's
that's their voice like that?
Yeah.
Inflammable means flammable. What a country.
That's their medical staff. We saw it at Four Nations. Like
Bruins saw it. Plenty
of reason to doubt the Wild. A team with a first-year head coach. They haven't had really any playoff success together under this current core, under this current coaching staff. And again, like you're going up against the Vegas Golden Knights, who have been steady Eddie all year long. They've got the cup pedigree. Bruce Cassidy, I would say, has the coaching advantage there. So plenty of reason, I think, to doubt the Wild in this series. But also, what you've seen should absolutely tell you that like they're not frauds. This is not fraudulent. They are a very good team, and I think they are arriving to the scene here.
Do they have enough, though? Because a breakout player here, and it's weird to say like a 31-goal scorer is a breakout player. And it was a couple years ago, but I think that he's pretty much always at like 30, 29, 28-ish goals, is Matt Boldy. This has been the Kaprizov and Boldy show.
Yeah, 100%. And I think that like this is Boldy elevating himself to like a next tier, because you knew that he was a good player. You knew he was a good young player. But I think during Four Nations and during this series so far, you've seen that Matt Boldy can not only hang with like the best talent in the world, he can stand out playing against some of the best talent in the world. And Boldy is kind of showing me that he can do everything. And that's kind of what I've seen from the Wild as a whole so far in this series. Is they can do a little bit of everything, and they are aggressive. They're confident. Like they hunt pucks. And they're kind of beating Vegas at their own game in this series, which is crazy to me.
Philip Gustafsson has a .922 percentage in 3 games. As I said, it was a close loss in game 1, but since then, I bet in game 2, I parlayed Wild to score first and Vegas to win in regulation, because I was like, there's going to be a little push from the Wild, but they just don't have enough to hang with the Golden Knights. And they score that first goal. And if you remember, Aiden Hill had made a pretty good save on the doorstep on Joel Eriksson X. So there were a couple of chances early, and you're like, oh, damn, like maybe they're going to make this game competitive. Not only did they score that first goal, they just kind of ran Vegas out of the building. And that's the biggest surprise to me. Not that the Wild are hanging with the Knights. The Wild look better than the Knights.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to get carried away, because I think the Knights are still going to win this series. But through 3 games, unequivocally, the Minnesota Wild being better than the Vegas Golden Knights when 2 of these games were played in Vegas is a massive surprise.
Definitely. My concern about the remainder of this series and kind of the Wild bringing it home would love to see them get a little bit more in terms of offense behind Boldy and Kaprizov.
So that's why I asked, like, do they have enough? Because this has been something of a two-man show, and it's been the best two-man show we've seen this postseason, but there probably needs to be more if they're going to hang. And eventually, like, saw Riley Smith score last night for a second to kind of make it a game. Vegas has more of those, oh yeah, they have that guy players on their roster than Minnesota does.
Yeah, I would agree with that. But I think we can emphatically say, and I know endless jokes have been made about the boringness of the Minnesota Wild. That for sure is dead.
Yeah, no longer boring.
Definitely not boring, and they're actually good and not boring, actually good in the playoffs, maybe for the first time ever. So congrats to the Minnesota Wild. I did find a very interesting question from Tyler Remchuk on Twitter last night, which was, like, where do Kaprizov and Boldy rank amongst NHL duos at the top of lineups? And honestly, it's a fascinating question. I think I would need to sit down and go through the duos that I would put in front of them. But the second part of that question from Remchuk was where will they be next year? And he questioned, will they be top 5? And I think it's very possible they could be a top 5 duo in the NHL next year.
The question is, do the duos need to play together?
No, I don't think so. I would say if you're putting together an NBA Jam type team and you're picking 3 players, who are the best 2 players? I would say it's got to be forwards.
You got oh really? Because I was gonna say with the Avs, I feel like the duo there is Makar and McKinnon.
That's a fair point because that's an obvious.
But that
duo.
I feel like that might be a kind of an exception.
But right now, you probably, I would say there's been some breakout duos in Kaprizov and Boldy, but don't sleep on, and not that this is either of these are breakout players, but how is Kempe and Kopitar so far this postseason? Not super high on that list. I think Tyler framed it as, are they top 5 right now? And with what they're doing, yeah. But top 5 for
that's also eliminating half the league.
Exactly. Well, be better. Make the playoffs. Some of those guys aren't good at hockey. Yeah,
David
I'm talking about you,
Pastrnak,
Quinn Hughes.
not
You missed
good.
the playoffs. You stink, brother.
Pasta, trash.
Not good.
Although, to be fair, I don't think Pasta shows up anywhere in this conversation. Who the fuck
Excuse
is
me?
with? Who's
Pasta, Morgan Geeky?
Oh yeah, sorry. Hand up.
What the fuck, Sean?
Do we have I didn't know that we were doing the hockey show on. I didn't know that we were that we had Rose here. At least be funny if you're not going to know puck.
Hand up.
Damn. That's not a stray for Rose. That is a compliment to Rose. Everybody check out the Meadowlark hockey show. Okay, so that's that. Wild in it. And I know that when you're up 2-1, you should deserve more than in it. When you're up 2-1 and you are, I'll say half-handedly outplaying your opponent, then you should be considered more than in it. But Vegas is going to come back. Vegas is too good. And if Minnesota finds their way out of this series, then the respect goes to an actual 10 out of 10. And right now, the Wild are at 8.8 respect out of 10, at least. We are Minnesota Wild respecters.
Definitely at this point. You have to be. I will say also,
Chat being so mean to Sean. Shut your mouth, Sean.
Didn't know Sean hates hockey.
I do. Hand up.
Also have to give credit to the Minnesota Wild fans because that atmosphere was fucking electric last night.
Famously, Minnesota likes hockey.
Yeah.
We all silly like the mayor.